Welcome back to Under Oath. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman. Sitting next to me is James Jean.
Wait. At
You're
some point,
cruise boat comedian.
you got to refer to me as a street lawyer, James.
Street lawyer? No, it's a crime. It's a felony.
Is it?
Yes, the unlawful practice of law is a felony in every state.
Every state?
I think every state.
Okay.
All 18 I'm attached to.
Gotcha.
But yeah, people always say all the time, hey, I'll give you the advice. Shut up. I watch TV. I know.
Because we're all lawyers now because we watch YouTube videos.
Okay. If you are the type of moron
Yes.
who says these words, just turn off my show. Just turn it off. Turn it off. Go to Spotify, listen to whatever you listen to. And this is the one. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
I love that one.
You effing idiot.
It's not?
My foot going up your ass is 9/10 of the law.
That is true, though.
You know, people sit in front of me and they go, hey, I looked this up.
I love that.
I looked this up.
Chat GPT'd it.
Ooh. The best is the Georgia. Oh my God, this is awesome. There's a Georgia prosecutor.
Yeah.
Who's handling an appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Big attorney. Like their attorney. The big attorney in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And the judge goes, hey, I want to ask you a question. And you could pull this one up. In your brief against the appeal, you quoted five sites that don't exist.
Ooh.
These cases don't exist. You quoted 5 things that aren't real quotes.
Oh.
I'm just looking for some understanding.
That's a great one.
And nothing is worse than a prosecutor
Mm-hmm.
who becomes a criminal in 10 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Because then they start acting like the people they prosecute.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they get the crazy eyes where the eyes are going left and right. I'm going to have to look into that.
I'm going to have to look into the fact
Look at the fact that you lied in your motions.
Yes.
And I know what happened. L-A-Z-Y.
Yeah.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Every time somebody ChatGPT something, for those who don't know why attorneys do this, it's because they're lazy. And you're going, well, Jeff, everyone chat. As attorneys, we have access to great systems that give us real cases.
Yeah.
LexisNexis, Westlaw. As a prosecutor, they get it. The state pays for it. So they could use that system.
Yeah.
But then they'd have to write it themselves. And they don't want to do that.
No.
So they go, well, let's just chat GPT and I'll send it in. They had access to all this information. They chose not to use it. And then they looked. I have sometimes people help me with my motions. I've been in that situation where one of my assistants have screwed up because people are human.
They are.
If they had false data they put in there, I said, Your Honor, I will immediately, first off, I'd like to end this hearing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Allow me to go back and rectify everything. And whoever is responsible for it, I will take care of. I will also put it on the court that I am responsible because my name is on it.
Correct.
I said, but allow me the opportunity to do whatever I can to make sure to figure out how this happened and make sure it doesn't happen again. I wouldn't go, yeesh. Ooh. But she knew.
Yeah.
She knew.
Yeah.
My feeling. I looked at her. She looked pretty guilty.
Yeah. Your Honor, you know what? I did wrong. I lied. I'm going to put in a plea of my bad. Is that illegal? My bad.
No. Imagine this.
Yeah.
This is a criminal case.
That's crazy.
You're the prosecutor.
Yeah.
So you're going out of your way to make sure this person doesn't get the justice he deserves by half-assing a document that you didn't make sure was true.
So now you look like you just have it in for this person.
Now, people don't realize how bad this is.
That's pretty bad.
In our country, this has happened really badly over the last 8 years, where you have prosecutors who've lied when they requested warrants, and they've intentionally lied. And everyone seems okay with it. Our country is based on the ideal that we're innocent until proven guilty. And if you can't get that person, you let it go.
You're supposed to.
Just like Frozen, you let it go.
There you go.
And the reason you don't let it go is because you're an a-hole.
Yes. No.
And here's the prosecutor I'm looking at right now. You made it personal. You made it political. And you're a bad dude.
Yeah.
You are a bad human being who would want somebody in jail for your own political benefit. and you know who you are, but you don't care. Because the fact is this, you got your job because you had a certain political affiliation. You kept going up because you kept doing certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to me right now and you're going, well, Jeff, you're a Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm clearly an independent. Look me up.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been in that courtroom and I've seen statewide prosecutors lie on the stand. I've seen them make stuff up. I've seen them tell department agents to lie and do all these things. And why? For political purposes.
That's wild.
And you're going to put somebody in jail to increase your political clout?
Further your career?
F you, pound sand.
I'm
All
with
right,
you on
James,
that.
what do you got?
Now, speaking of letting it go, this is a good one, man.
I could say F you, can I?
Yes, you can. Yeah, man. It's your
And if you don't like it and you're a prosecutor, hey, imagine you were the one being prosecuted.
There you go.
Then the party's over, right?
That's right. All right. Now, this is a really good one. My husband is being laid off from his union job in Ohio.
Ooh.
And despite earning company logo T-shirts from working events, his employer is now demanding he return them by his end date. And we're wondering if that's legal or if they can withhold severance over shirts they gave us.
Okay, when people say the word legal,
Legal.
be very careful. There's two different forms of legal. There's criminally responsible,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's we can argue about it in a civil courtroom, which means which means money.
Got it.
Okay, if they say give me the T-shirt back,
Mm-hmm.
all right, sue me for it.
Okay. I like that.
The government is not going to come to your house to get a T-shirt. Okay, the police department. This is Officer Sanchez. We're gonna need that company T-shirt, and how about that scrunchie too? While you got it.
That's crunchy.
No. Now, in the real world,
Yeah,
gifts are gifts,
that's what I thought.
and a uniform being supplied by the company is theirs.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jeff, I'm going to quote a very famous legal line to you. Tell me if you've heard it.
Don't start none, won't be none?
No.
Okay. all right.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Okay. I'm gonna do something because I don't like doing it, but
Okay.
I get asked hundreds of legal questions every week.
You do. Yes,
And
you do.
I answer them
Mm-hmm.
because I believe that if I can help somebody and give somebody peace of mind, it's a good thing. But like you said, no good deed goes unpunished.
It
So
doesn't.
people don't like when I give them the bad news.
The truth, you mean?
Well,
Yeah.
my truth,
Got it.
based on my legal experience.
Mhm.
Another attorney might find something else for you.
Mhm.
He might have another avenue to cross. But I feel generally bad when I have to give you bad news.
Okay.
Like one of the things is this. Jeff, I want to sue this guy. Well, do you know how much it's going to cost?
They don't.
They go, what do you mean? I said, well, average attorney, I'm not an hourly guy. I'm a contingency lawyer.
Okay.
You know, I get what I get you.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal. If you hire a general attorney, he's going to charge you $200 an hour.
Now,
So
tell him
here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing.
Tell him how many hours.
This guy owes me $400.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't have a contract? No. I want to take him to small claims court. Great.
Hmm.
I want to hire an attorney. Me filing your documents for you puts you in the whole $600.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Jeff, I could do it on my own. Then why are you talking to me?
Yeah. Why you call me?
I had a guy the other day. He's furious. He's furious. I can't believe, Jeff, you won't help me out. You're claiming that Amazon screwed you for $60.
$60.
Well, Jeff, you can't. It's justice.
Okay.
First off, it's $60.
Yeah.
The guy's furious at me. He wants me to represent him on the $60 case.
For $60?
It's a principle, Jeff.
It would have cost him like $1,000?
You could pay me.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't do those cases. But if I did do it,
Even if you win, we
10
lose.
10 minutes
Yeah.
into this phone call,
Yeah.
you've burned your 60.
You know what, Jeff? You should have just went in your wallet. Here's 60, man.
Oh,
Here's
I told the dude, how about I give you 100
and we call it a day.
and you'll be happy with me?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I don't want that. I want them to pay me.
Oh, God.
Who do you
Bless
think they is?
Yeah, exactly.
You think they is the shareholders?
No.
Who do you think owns Amazon?
There you go.
You think the robot who screwed up your Temu order
Yeah.
cared?
He doesn't.
He doesn't. The robot beep, 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 beep. He don't care.
It's
People, here's the thing. If you need conflict, find it somewhere else.
There you go.
Don't bring your stuff into the courtrooms.
Yeah.
Don't waste an attorney's time. Don't go start looking for the law. Don't chat GPT it and say, I'm going to make $1 million off this stuff. Oh, I saw this TikTok the other day. Conflict should be reserved to things that really matter.
Facts.
Not, oh, my feelings are hurt.
Mm.
I know you watch about these lawsuits where a guy gets a bunch of millions of dollars because his feelings were hurt. 1 in a million. In fact, you have a better chance of winning the Powerball than to win a case that deals with your feelings.
Mm.
Because actual damages are important. A jury isn't going to give you money because of your feelings. Now you're going to say to me, hey, Jeff, this Texas attorney awarded this family. That's political. You don't get money from non-political crimes.
No.
You don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get it from big corporations unless they hate the corporation. For example, let's say Facebook gets sued and you're in the wrong courtroom. You're in the wrong state.
Yeah.
That's why they do what they call forum shopping. People go, what is that? Why do you think they have an immigration case in, let's say, downtown Chicago in comparison to Miami, Florida?
Because
they have shopped. They know that the 3 federal judges they're in front of are of a political affiliation.
Correct.
The same way you would do on a gun case. You take it to a state that's not pro-gun.
Yes.
Or the same if you were going to do a pro-life case, you'd put it in front of conservative judges. And they go, well, you don't get to decide what judges. Well, if I know it's 2 to 3, I did. Because there are only so many federal judges in a certain courthouse, and they're appointed, and the majority of them are Republicans or Democrats. That's where I'm going to go.
You know how to work the system.
Yes. And that's the way this works. That's why that next level always, they go, oh, the Supreme Court did this. Or the level before them, they were wrong. No. Here's how I'm going to tell you the truth. And if you're a judge, get mad if you want to. You know it's true. Your rulings a lot of times are based on your political affiliation. If you're a judge and upset by me, it's just because you're not being honest with yourself. The reality is most judges base their rulings on political affiliations and how do they keep their jobs.
Survival.
Because some of them are elected officials.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a criminal, if you work a criminal bench, you know normally you need the support of the prosecutor's office to get reelected. So I have seen judges in those cases tank a case because they're not going to be out of a job. I have friends of mine who are judges, and they have to run for reelection sometimes once every 2 years. Now, you're spending 8 months of your life trying to raise money or having your friend raise money for you to be able to keep your job because you need to put enough signs in there. That's why, for example, and this will sound political because it is, there is a group that has spent millions of dollars getting prosecutors elected, and they're spending 20 times more than the person running against them.
Yes.
And the person running against them doesn't have a chance.
Nope.
And it's sad, but that's how our court systems are being determined now. Welcome back to Under Oath. Attorney Jeff Kaufman. This is normally the set where it goes attorneys arguing. But you know something? Every once in a while, we are attorneys. And Craig right now is caught up in a major, it's like a 7-hour mediation. For those who don't know what that is, you get in a room with your clients and the other side, and you just go at it. And none of it can be used in court. So that's where he is right now. And we need to do the show. So we have a special guest star, Morgan. Now, you've seen Morgan before. Morgan pops up every once in a while when Craig has a job. So this is the way it's going on. Morgan has some questions for me today.
I do. Well, I heard one of the main guys from the O.J. Simpson trial passed away, but what is the relevancy for something like that when a case that big is already closed and O.J. is gone?
Well, certain people don't matter. Like the big attorney in the case was Johnny Cochran. He died. A couple of the other attorneys died, but they weren't as big as Johnny Cochran. Johnny Cochran, if the glove does not fit, you must acquit. Then you had the second, O.J. died, so that's a big deal. So the guy who did it is dead. Mark Furman is the guy who just recently died. Mark Furman, I believe, was the first guy to ever get seriously canceled worldwide for being racist. I mean, he was the first one. And he was the reason they lost that case. He was. Mark Furman was a good detective, but he was also racist as hell. He used the N-bomb like I use the word the, and he got on the stand and they knew it. They knew he had dropped the N-bomb. And you know how they knew?
How?
Real simple. He had done an interview with this reporter who was writing a book. And he was talking about crime and everything else. And he loved dropping the N-bomb. I think it made him feel edgy. You know, that's what happens when white people want to feel edgy. They think they can drop the N-bomb.
Interesting choice.
Oh, well, see, you're at a certain age. You know, since you've been born, hell no. Now, in the 80s, 90s, rap began. Every white kid, to be edgy, thought they could do it. Not this white kid, because I know better.
Good.
So what happens is the verdict comes in 95. Now, the reason why this is big is because it was the trial of the century. We've never had a trial that was like on television 10, 12 hours a day for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, it was on forever. Every time you couldn't turn the TV on, and they had to do the play-by-play every day. And I didn't know they had that many witnesses. And everyone was a celebrity. Every attorney was a celebrity. They're all partying every night, you know, living like they're superstars, and it's disgusting. Well, Mark Furman was the lead detective, and they knew he had dropped the N-bomb. So he denies it. And then they put all this evidence forward to show that, yes, you have no problem doing the N-bomb. Well, now he's got a problem. Furman can't testify anymore because he's perjured himself, which is a crime. So he has to plead the fifth, which is, you know, I can't talk. I don't want it to incriminate myself,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. Well, they start asking him questions. When you plead the fifth once, you can't testify about anything else. They go, did you plant the evidence? I plead the fifth. Were you available? You know, everything.
Yeah.
Did you grab the glove? Did you do the knife? Did you do this? Did you plant? And they ask him like a ridiculous amount of questions, knowing he has to plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Well, the jury doesn't know the rules of law. So they're sitting there going, oh, man, he must have done it all.
Not a good look.
Beyond a good look, because you think that he absolutely planted the evidence. And that's how they lost the case. That was their main witness. Forget the glove. Everyone thinks it's about the glove.
Yeah.
You know, it really wasn't about the glove. It was just that line they used. But so Furman dies of lung cancer this week. Imagine that is you have this detective who was really good at his job, except he's racist. And nobody remembers you as a good detective anymore. They just know you as a racist.
That's the focus.
And I wonder, when you're dying, do you go, well, I want a stone for people to go to? Or do I want to be cremated and dumped in the ocean? And I don't know what his final wishes are. And I don't know what his family felt. I mean, having a name like that. What's your last name? Furman. Are you related to the racist guy? And I'm sure his kids and his people out there are going, well, no, Dad, what? You don't understand. Dad thought he could. So I think you're canceled all the way to your death sometimes. Yeah. And, you know, you earn it. You earn it. So that's the Mark Furman wrap up. Years later, it was shown that a lot of the evidence he put forward was absolutely accurate. But you can't, you know, once you make that mistake.
You're already done.
Yeah. People don't understand why that's so important. Credibility is a huge thing. Like when I'm cross-examining somebody, you lie once, the jury won't believe you about anything. Now, they might forgive you if you catch them. Juries can forgive you, but in criminal cases, they don't want to forgive you because it's so important.
Right.
It deals with somebody's future. I'm going to put somebody in prison based on this guy who I know lied to me. So, yeah, you'll forgive somebody in a civil courtroom when you're arguing over money, but you won't forgive them in a criminal case. All right, Morgan, I know you came in because you want to talk about something that's really hot right now. It's really hot right now. I don't know why, because it seems silly. We did things like this, but I mean, now it's with the internet and with phones, it was harder to do something like this. But why don't you tell me what we're talking about?
Well, we recently saw the teen takeover over at Icon Park. I believe there were 9 arrests by the end of it, with hundreds of kids running around and chaos and commotion.
You know, there's a sign when suddenly 50 cars hit the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know what's happening. Now, this has been happening in Daytona and places all over.
Right.
And you're dealing with theft, vandalism, batteries. I mean, you're bringing terrible children who want to cause a problem. You're not your average kid. You know, the people who are showing up committing violence, I don't think are people who normally don't have a proclivity to do that. And it's a shame. But here's where things get wooky. They want to hold the parents responsible.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know why?
Why?
Child neglect means
Okay.
I'm not paying attention to what my kids are doing. And because I'm doing that, I have a duty to protect them. Now, if I know they're doing something wrong or I'm not monitoring them, a lot of things can be put under child neglect. And I think they're trying to fit this under there to say that you had a duty to supervise your kids and you're not doing that. And look at, they committed this big crime.
Yeah.
Now, would I be able to win that case or maybe on appeal? Yeah, probably. You know, when I did criminal offense, that would be my argument. I don't know if I have a problem with it other than, God forbid, your kid kills somebody. And every time your kid commits a crime, you're held criminally responsible.
Yeah.
Think of all the things you did that you didn't tell your parents about.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Was it their fault?
No, it's on me.
Okay. That's the point, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
When does it become on you? Like when a teenager, you could hold a teenager guilty of murder.
Mm-hmm.
You can. And you could try him as an adult.
Okay.
For example, if a 16-year-old murders somebody, they go, well, we're charging them as an adult for this reason, because they could understand their actions.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though they're not old enough to drink.
Yeah. But they knew what they were doing.
Which is a very weird thing. I'm not old enough to drink. I'm not responsible enough to be able to have a beer.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be held accountable for an adult crime.
Yeah.
I'm adult enough to be incarcerated, but not enough to have a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Or buy a lottery ticket. Or see an R-rated movie. You know, if I'm 16 years old, I could be held responsible for murder, but I might not even be able to buy a R-rated ticket to a movie.
Yeah.
It seems silly. I don't think it's practical. I think they need to change laws where they say they hold the kid more responsible. They say, you know, they make it against the law to come to an event that has more than 2,000-3,000 people. It's weird. I don't even know how you create a law that would cover that.
What about who plans it? Is
Definitely.
there a way to go after that easily?
Yeah, you created an unsanctioned event that might require permitting normally.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, certain states have laws that will punish the people who set it up. But then you have the anonymous people.
Right.
The dark web people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hate these things because here's my belief about the youth of America. And it might sound a little off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think kids are as smart as they used to be. I mean, come on. The challenges, the Tide Pod challenge. I'm going to eat detergent. Watch
See
this.
what happens.
We're going to eat detergent. Some guy on the internet goes, hey, I dare you. Okay.
Yeah.
Even at 10, I wouldn't eat detergent.
Yeah.
Now there's the chip challenge where it's a hot, spicy thing. Okay, I get it. It's fun.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain things that are just so stupid. And these people are just so stupid. I don't know why. And you know, Darwin had a point. He did. You know, God bless. If you had a Tide Pod, do you qualify to have kids? I think you should have to take a test before you have a kid. You have to, you know, before you're allowed to have unprotected sex, you need to take the test, you know, because it's not good for our world. It's not good if you're too stupid.
Yeah, should be a
God
requirement.
forbid your stupidity is DNA. Because I know some kids are born really smart.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell, like he's like first grade. He's like, oh, he's a genius. And his parents didn't do anything. The kid was just smart. I mean, some people just are smart as hell. And then some people aren't. And I think you get that from your parents.
All right.
I think some of it comes from me. Think about how quick your parent is. And you go, oh, I got that.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, I get something from my mom. I get something from my dad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So if you dumb, sorry, you know, I'm not talking about castrating people. I'm not talking about doing crazy stuff. But I mean, I think you should have to use a condom if you're that stupid. Sorry. You know, but God forbid, then they're too stupid to how to figure it out. I put the Tide Pod on instead.
Lose.
Lose. Welcome back to Under Oath. I'm your host, Jeff Kaufman. I have the privilege of interviewing Jawad Yatim. You might not know that name, but you should. He's the owner of our indoor football league, our new team, the Pirates.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for bringing it to us. We've been dying for it.
No, I hear you, and you know, we're certainly glad to be here. You know, I always told myself, hey, if that Orlando market ever opened up, we would pounce on it, and we did. And we're happy to be here, and it's been a good start so far. And, obviously a lot to build on, but, we're working towards that, and we're excited for the future.
They just came from Massachusetts. And the weird thing about it was they had like 3 months to get everything together. The amount of therapy you must need trying to set everything up in 3 months before the first game. I think the contract was, signed in December?
The end of November. Yeah, we announced we had a press conference November 18th at the Kia Center to announce our arrival here, and then from there it was all systems go. We were sprinting, just putting everything together, and yeah, it's but piece by piece, right? It's a funny story, but I mean the Pirates were pretty much started out of the Istanbul Lounge on International, and also the Citrus Club. Those were the two places that I spent the majority of my time. So
now here's the thing: as an owner of the team, you've got players. I used to be an NFL agent. I was an NBA agent. Players are tough. You have all these alpha males. You got alpha male coaches. You got alpha male assistants. You got alpha male players, and you've got to make all that work. I mean, I can't imagine how long it took you to figure out how to manage and be able to get these people to be excellent.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, you learn over the years. I mean, I've been doing this since I was, 28 years old. So, just knowing how to run a room, manage a room, read a room, that's obviously important. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of testosterone in the building, and, it can get emotional. Obviously you try to, constrain that and then direct it in the right place. But yeah, I mean, but that's just sports. I think everybody in my position is going through that. And I've learned to, kind of deal with it, while also being myself, and staying myself. And that's important too for me.
How tough is that? I mean, come on, that's, there are times that you want to go.
Yeah, it's
you can't.
There is an aspect of the job, that is somewhat robotic, but then, I always like to, it gets tiring trying to be somebody else, or try and fake something, so, as long as I'm myself and stay within the guidelines of what's correct, or what's appropriate in terms of being able to do your job at a high level, that's what I try to do. And, it's worked for me over the years. Obviously there's been, some tough moments, there's been great moments, but it's you take the good with the bad, and then you just keep swinging, and keep going. So
now, one of the hardest things I have, a lot of people don't know about this, about indoor football, is that the better the player is, the more likely he can be poached by the Canadian League, by other leagues, because there's nothing keeping them from leaving. In like the next game, they could be gone.
Yeah. I mean, for years, man, we've been dealing with that. I mean, even this year, we landed in New Mexico. As soon as we get off the flight, our starting quarterback's gone. He's on his way to Houston. We had, the top kick returner in the league. He's in Canada now. Two of our important, defensive backs, in our secondary that, they got picked up by the UFL. An offensive lineman to the CFL, another DB, and so on and so on and so on. But, it trains you to be really good at your job, because, we don't have another minor league team, sending someone down. It's on me to, make sure our short lists are where they need to be, make sure we have guys ready, to hop on a flight when they need to. And then, having the coaching staff that can get these guys prepared on a short notice to be able to go out there, and in 2-3 days time and be effective for us. So, even this past game, we started 3 new players, and they only had about 3 or 4 practices under their belt. Oof. So, they did a good job getting acclimated. Our coaches did a good job getting them up to speed, and we did enough to win.
It's a business, and it's hard. And the goal is I have to be profitable. I got to get butts in the seats. Getting people to come to these games, because now you have to be your own Barnum and Bailey. You're the guy who's got to convince these guys to come in. You got to get your marketing team. You got to do all these things. You've been here 4 months, and you're going, God, it's hard enough to keep a team on the field.
Yeah.
Much less now. I got to pack the stadium. I got to do these. You have a good product. What do you do to let a city know, hey, we're here. This is a good product. We care about you. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. You try and be as aggressive as you can, with different campaigns and different, directions of marketing, whether it's digital, whether it's physical signage, whether it's partnerships, whether it's getting out in the community. You just try and be as aggressive as you can. I'd say the one thing that I wish I had more of was time, but you can't buy that, unfortunately. But time continues to pass, and then, we're going to be here. We're here in Orlando. We're excited to be here. We understand it's a process, but, But the main reason we're here is because, the one thing that you can't buy, especially in sports is history, is moments,
Yep.
previous knowledge of the product. I've had so much fewer conversations down here of, explaining to people what arena football is. Back in Massachusetts in our initial market, it was a lot about, hey, we're the Pirates, cool. What do you do? We play arena football. What is that? That was a lot of what is that? It was a lot of educating that we had to do down here. Say arena football. Oh yeah, I know about that. Yeah,
You had a good fan base in Massachusetts. You had great fans.
Passionate, very passionate.
I can't imagine that feeling when you go, okay, we're moving. How do you let the city know on something like that? Because I know it must have been devastating for you because you had relationships. I mean, you're a huge fan, of the area. That must have been so difficult for you, man.
I appreciate that question. It's actually been the first time I've been asked that since I've been down here. And, it's, we got a lot of history back there. We won a championship. We went to 2. We had 6 straight playoff appearances to start off our, franchise. A lot of nice moments. That's where I was born and raised. So, we want to keep that history with us. We want to, remember it, honor it, appreciate it. But at the same time, we are thrilled to be down here. And I'm starting to feel like this is starting to become, a little more, like home for me personally, on a personal level. But yeah, it's not easy. We weren't able to do anything during the season, during our last season there. It's not like I could have addressed the crowd or really let them know that. We made a video, I put out a message that, was authentic, and I really just thanked everybody. There were so many people that, we certainly appreciated from our time there. And I guess a neat part of going back up to New York for 10 days to play 2 games is that, you are a little closer to home. I think we'll see some of those old Massachusetts fans, come out to the game. But yeah, we appreciate it. We honor it. We even got the key to our city, back there, for winning the championship. But, like I said, this is starting to feel a little more like home now. And I'm starting to appreciate the people, more. I wouldn't say appreciate them, but I would start to, appreciate more of the connections that I have down here.
You got to know.
Yeah, you got to build relationships. It takes time, real relationships, not just shaking someone's hand and saying thank you, but actually feeling it along with that, So I'm starting to feel a little more ingrained in Orlando, and I like it.
Now, about 2-3 months ago, I had some friends of mine who I hadn't seen in a long time, and they somehow included me on this link saying, hey, we're going to get tickets to the Orlando Pirates. I'm like, what the hell is that? And they're going, yeah, it's our new, and they called it it's our arena football team, and it's indoor football league. But I was like going, we got a new team? And that day I said, you know what? I love this game. I loved everything about it. I love the energy it had. And I sent an email out to you that night when I got those tickets. And the next morning you emailed me back and said, how would you feel about doing this? And you've included me in so much. I've got to meet the team. I've got to be in the locker before the game, after the game. And just so you know, I'm going to tell something. We won the last game, okay? Last second of the game. Catches the ball in the end zone, goes over the wall. We still take the win, okay? Everyone's back in the locker room. Jawad, you could tell he has gone through every emotion possible through this game. And he's like, hey, you guys, you're good? Yeah, we got a lot to work on. I could tell he was like going, I am overwhelmed at this moment with everything I'm dealing with, but I want you guys to know how great you are, but we have a lot of work to do. And that is something you can't buy those moments. You can't even try to explain to people what that's like.
No, and that's the beauty of it. It's the business is always, you're working to get it to where you want to be, but you do it for reasons like you just described, right? Like, just having those moments of being able to address the team after a big win. But also, going through all the emotions in a game, feeling kind of exhausted a little bit and just want to recognize the guys that we felt deserved that recognition and also recognize, the things that we didn't do really well. But it's always better to learn after a win. But yeah, man, some of those moments in the locker room, that's what you don't forget, those trips, on the bus or on a flight, in the airport, just the little moments with guys guys that, and I think when you hear all these NFL players when they retire, I mean, that's what they talk about the most, right? It might not necessarily be in the game. It's everything that surrounds it. But yeah, I mean, those moments are cool. It's great to have you there, by the way. I mean, I absolutely love it. It's nice to feel like you're part of the team, and that's important for us because you are. You really are a part of the team. Most definitely. Play a large role in our success and how we operate and everything like that. So, we appreciate it as well, and it's good to have our partners right there with us.
You guys allow me to do something which is very special. I get to promote a lot of autism awareness through our advertising with the Pirates. It's huge because at least I would say 10, 20 times a game, somebody comes up to me and says, hey, my son's on the... You had players who came up to me at the end of the game and said, hey, you had an injured player who came up to me. He goes, my brother is on the spectrum, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. This is a community team. This is our team. And though everyone who's gone to one of these games has said the same thing afterwards, that was fun.
Yeah.
That it wasn't a corporate thing. Yeah. It was, this is our thing. And that's what I love about what the Pirates are doing. And I love, at the end of the game, they come out and sign. They sign everything. They're meeting kids. There are lines of these players sit down. And these players are hurt. They're tired. But they're going out there and doing what they need to do to let the community know that they matter. And there's a cute thing you guys do. I didn't realize this was the thing. If a football goes out of bounds, a lot of times you got to keep it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this ball bounced out, and it bounced to in front of me. And a buddy next to me, Matt, picked it up. And there was a guy in front of us with his child. I said, just give it to him. Trust me. And I gave it to him. And this is what kind of community we have. Matt gave him the ball. He looked over. He was right about to give it to his son. And he looked over at Jacob, who was sitting next to me. My son's on the spectrum. And he goes, no, this is Jacob's ball. He doesn't know us. Had no idea who I was other than he saw Jacob on the Jumbotron, everything. Hands Jacob the ball. Jacob turns around, holds the ball above his head. The place goes crazy. And I can't give my child a moment like that. Yep. And that's something that you have here that you can do so much with. The power, the changes you can make, the people. It was Cancer Awareness Month. So there was somebody out on the field for that. There's just so much that a team like this, and when you have the kind of management you have, you can embrace all of this. It's hard, though, because it has to be choreographed and there's a lot of moving parts, but you guys kill yourself to get that done.
We do our best. And it's I mean, I think you hit it on the head. It's a very intimate product, and you really do get to interact with the team. That's important for us. We want, obviously the team to interact with the community and the people within the community. But, the little moments I think are more accessible at a game like ours, like you mentioned, as opposed to maybe a major league, product, but we have maybe a little bit more flexibility in terms of how accessible we can make ourselves, maybe with just some of the labor laws and different regulations that, these leagues have with their personnel and players. So, but for us, I mean, we understand the importance of providing those type of moments for the community, because that's how, you get people back in the building, and that's how you get people to buy into the product and buy into your team. And we need the fans, we need it. The players need the energy on game day. We want to go out there and run out to a field, and look up in the stands and see a bunch of people supporting the team. And the big moments have yet to come. We haven't gone to the end of the season yet. We haven't gotten to those playoff games. We haven't gotten to the game that's going to clinch a playoff berth for us. And having those people in the building at those times is going to be really important for us. So, but, at the end of the day, I mean, that's one of the best things about doing this, is not just going out and trying to win a ball game, but, being able to provide those moments, having a platform where you could actually do that, is pretty neat.
I got to meet your dad. Your dad came up to me and he goes, hey, I want to thank you for helping sponsor. I own part of the team. I just want to say that thank you for doing it. I appreciate what you're doing. And I said to him, I got to tell you, your son's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I said, I don't know how many people ever get to tell you that or something else like that. I said, but what he's done in such a short period of time requires a stupid amount of hours, a stupid amount of temperament that you must have inside to go, okay, get your ass out of bed. It's another day. Yeah. I got another 18, 24 hours I got to knock out. A lot of yoga. Now, fathers like to give advice. My dad loved to give advice. I try to not do that with my daughter because it's tough. what do you think some of the best advice your dad ever gave you was?
I wouldn't say it's verbal. I would say it's more example, by action, just, he's still getting after it, he came from one of the poorest countries in the world, Sierra Leone, and then he came over to the U.S. when they were having their civil war, along with my uncles. And, between all of them, they became very successful businessmen up in the Massachusetts and New England area. And, but it wasn't by coincidence. It wasn't by luck. It just every single day, getting up, going to work, getting up, going to work. I really wouldn't, there'd be weeks where I didn't even see him, because he'd be gone by the time I wake up, and by the time he got home, I might not have, I might have been out, or whatever. But, it's just, man, the level of hard work that I witnessed over years just rubbed off on me. How could I not work hard, when you see it every single day, and just, never missing a beat, never wanting to take a day off. I mean, that's, but I mean, to witness that, it just rubbed off on me. He never sat me down and told me I had to work hard. He just showed me. And I just witnessed that. And it just became ingrained in me. And I wouldn't feel like, I wouldn't have much self-respect for myself if I wasn't able to kind of, try and emulate the same things, or try and be the same person, and try and really chase what I'm trying to chase. So yeah, it's maybe not as much verbal, but more action, and more just paying attention to the amount of sacrifice, he made, and the level of effort he put into providing for us, and being the best person he can be.
When you wake up in the morning, when you meet people, when you know this is who you are, what inside do you go, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe I get to do this.
It's I really have to remind myself sometimes to do that, like every once in a while, because the day is just filled with so much. And even though I'm one of the owners of the team, I still do a lot of duties that might not be ownerish, so at times I feel like I'm just like anybody else, because I'm there taking trash out, I'm there going over game day programs, and trying to find a quarterback 1 minute, and buying laptops for the sales team the next minute, and reorganizing furniture, and going over paint for the walls, and ordering jerseys, and all that. It's I do a lot of the day to day. So, but I think I need to do that more often, because I really haven't, I don't want it to be too late for me to actually appreciate what I'm doing. I don't want it to be too far down the road where I look back and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I appreciate you bringing that up, because I really feel like I don't do it enough to really actually appreciate the opportunity in the moment, that I'm currently in. It's always about getting better, improving. What can we do more of? Just always trying to grow and focus on what's next, as opposed to like what I'm actually doing now. So, it is neat. I do appreciate it. I try and appreciate it, but yeah, I mean, I just absorb a lot, each day, that I just try and get through what I'm absorbing. And then, if there is time at the end of the day, then maybe I get to think about how cool it is, but not yet. Hopefully we can, bring a championship here to Orlando this year, and that parade that'll go down Church Street, that'll be a moment where we can sit back and say, what, this is pretty cool. We enjoy that. So hopefully we can get a key to the city as well. We bring a championship here, but yeah, man, I look forward to maybe being able to do that a little more than I do now.
Well, we'll talk to the mayor about that later.
Yeah. Hey,
Let me just say, hey, thank you for bringing this gift to us, to the city.
Oh, yeah.
The effect of sports on kids and adults, to be able to escape a life and to support something and feel like they're actually part of something bigger than themselves, is amazing. So thank you for doing that.
No, hey, this is for Orlando, by Orlando. I didn't bring anybody here from Massachusetts. I left them back in Mass. So, these are all individuals that live here or from here, and this is really for the city, and we haven't scratched the surface. We haven't scratched the surface yet. And, I look forward to what's ahead of us in the future.
It's been a lot of fun. If you want tickets, go to orlandopirates.com. When's the next home game?
June 6th, we have
June 6th.
Orlando Youth Night. So we're honoring all the youth in the city, trying to get as many kids as we can in the building. We're playing the Iowa Barnstormers. We're coming back from a long road trip. So, hope to see all of you in the Kia Center and, hopefully pick up another win here at home. And maybe we can go undefeated at home this year and make sure that Orlando never sees a loss. So, it's certainly a goal.
All right. Well, I support that. Hey, good seeing you. Well, that wraps up today's show. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman. Thanks for joining us. Special thanks to my two co-hosts, my good friend, professional comedian James John, and my law partner, Craig Lind. This show is sponsored by Kaufman Lind. If you or someone you know has been in an accident, contact us at 407-500-JEFF or 407-500-5333 for a free consultation, or visit us at whenyounneedus.com.